The following podcast is presented by Hormone Logics. Discover your ageless health.
Welcome to the Ascension Mentality Podcast. My name is Matt Wilhelmi, and I'm one of the hosts on the Ascension Mentality Podcast. Today's episode, we have Kitty, who designs beautiful bikinis from Kittys Bikinis, and we're really excited to jump in and unpack some of the things that she likes to do in terms of stoning bikinis with hundreds of dollars of stones. Blows my mind. And we're just going to talk to her a little bit about the female bikini competitors and maybe even the male swimsuits that she designs as well. Looking forward to talking with Kitty on today's podcast.
Hi, this is Amy Wilhelmi with the Ascension Mentality Podcast, and this is my co-host, Matthew Wilhelmi. You want to introduce yourself?
You just did. My name is Matt Wilhelmi with the Ascension Mentality Podcast, and we have a wonderful guest today.
This is Kitty Cabo. She makes Kittys Bikinis. So
I think she's going to be my favorite guest.
This is going to be a fun episode.
We were just kind of talking before we started recording, and apparently you make men's bikinis, which is interesting. Are we going to talk about that today?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hey, Kitty.
Hey, how are you?
We are good. So a little bit about our podcast. We love to interview entrepreneurs. Obviously being in the bodybuilding community, we've also interviewed a bunch of bodybuilders. We're really interested in kind of the mindset and mentality of people that just kind of do unique and interesting things that have kind of like started from a lot of nothing and have grown into what they are today, and like what it takes to kind of continue and grind and get there. So we were so interested in having you on because number one, you're doing the thing that I'm currently involved in. And number two, you're a business owner. So kind of both of those niches are kind of our sweet spot. So.
And number three, without you, Kitty, a lot of women wouldn't know what to wear on stage.
They wouldn't. No, they would have no clothing.
No. I mean, pretty close to nothing. It's
yeah,
very,
it is very close to nothing. Well, welcome. So I'd love to just kind of start with like the Wayback Machine. How did you initially even get into making these sparkly bikinis? Oh, and for our guests,
let's show it off.
I told Kitty that I did bring one. So
show it off.
This is her beautiful bag, with her logo on it. This thing is flipping gorgeous. She just made this one for me. So we have this like bright, fiery red.
And Kitty, you make all these yourself, right?
Yes, I make all these myself. I actually just had a new girl start with me, and we did some stuff yesterday. We have something that we're coming up together with, and hopefully, I know it's going to do well, so I'm going to keep that a secret, but there is something that I'm going to make big. I don't see a lot of companies that are doing it, but so I plan on growing. I have a lot going on. It's like nonstop for me. I don't know how I'm like keeping up with everybody and everything and family, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Each day that I'm business, it just gets bigger
and bigger. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this journey. So how did you even get connected with the bodybuilding industry in general? When did that start?
So I would say in like my whole life, I'm from Daytona Beach, and it's a beach town, and either you're very fit and healthy or you're out there partying, right? And so
one of the two.
I was kind of in the middle. I was like, I was always obsessed with bodybuilding. I had a whole bunch of friends that I followed throughout the years, and I love what they did. Their bodies were always amazing. And at the time, before I got into bodybuilding, I was in nursing. And then I worked as a CNA for a year, and I was on my way into, being an RN and stuff like that. And a year of being a CNA, I was like, you know what? The medical field is not for me. it was really tough. And it was just something that I was like, no, I love helping people, but I think I need to do it in another way. So then...
So you woke up and started making really tiny bikinis?
It was like, when I started to making bikinis, like I studied, I changed my major, I went to exercise science, then I was in school with a whole bunch of bodybuilders, and it was like, this is amazing. This is exactly what I want to be. I was like, you know what? I want to be a personal trainer. I want to be a bodybuilder. Then my first suits that I wore were CJ suits. I did 2 shows, 2016, and her suits were amazing. But, I was a mom and personal trainer, and I could not afford to keep spending crap.
They are very expensive, CJs.
They are so expensive.
Yeah.
How expensive are CJs? Can you just for reference?
800, 900
No.
per suit.
No, so her suits, back then, they were like around $1,200.
What?
Yeah.
$1,200 to $1,500
For
Some of them were $2,000.
not even a full bathing suit? It's like a tiny little...
Well, I mean, we have crystals and sparkly things too on it, honey.
Yeah, so the crystals, the Swarovski crystals, that she uses, and there's a whole story behind Swarovski now. They're cutting back on their production of colors.
Mm-hmm.
You have to I had to put it this way. I had to sign a contract to still be able to use their crystals, and I can't say that I'm, I can't promote Swarovski on my website or social media is the way you can get
Do we need to
sued,
cut this out of the podcast then? Is that part of...
Probably.
Can't talk about it?
Probably that part. I probably should have said that. But anyway, so the Swarovski crystals are very expensive. So a small pack, you're paying about $100, $130 a pack. I wish I had a
That's
pack
just your raw material cost?
Of these little tiny packs.
No, that's just the crystals. And not even for on Amy's suit, there is 2 packs and a half on that
2.5 packs. And how much did you say the packs are of those?
They run from about 100 to 130.
Wow.
For those types of crystals. So you, as a designer, I understood, once I started buying crystals and the fabric, I understood why the bikinis at the time were so expensive.
Yeah.
But I was also like, I could do this. I sewed when I was, I don't know if you guys remember home ec. I don't know your age, but we don't have that anymore.
I remember home ec.
I had to take a foods class.
Yeah, I cooked eggs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Eggs. I had a baby in home ec.
What?
Whoa.
All right.
Okay.
You win.
Well, they made you carry around a baby.
Yeah.
And we sewed a pillow. So, that was my first experience, and that was in 5th grade. But I didn't own a sewing machine until a few years ago.
Wow.
7 years ago at that. And so it has been a journey. But yeah.
So you started doing it because you wanted to compete, and you were like, CJ suits are wonderful, but they're not affordable for me. And so you were like, I have to figure out a way.
I'm not sure that's affordable for a lot of people. Let's just be honest.
No.
That's a lot of money for a little bikini.
It's not. But I'm sure that the options were a lot more limited at that time as well. Because what year did you say that you were buying this?
2016.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there just weren't a lot of suit companies out there, right?
No, not back then, not that I knew of. And I think a lot of them they started around the same time as I want to say Toxic is another one of them that she's been around for 8 or 9 years. I think she started a few years before me. Now, there's a whole bunch of designers now that I'm in that world, it's wow, okay, and I appreciate all of them. Everybody has an amazing craft. I wish that all of us were in a support group and we could kind of, feed off of each other. I do have a small support group that I am in. I have a few new designers that I talk to on a regular. We are oh, hey, what do you think about this cut? Or what do you think I could do better? Or I need some connectors, or I need some stones, or I haven't, since I moved to Texas, I can't travel back and forth to Florida. And I have, a few shows that I've been, they haven't let any other bikini companies come into. And I was like, for like Dexter Jackson, I contacted Rosie and the promoter, and I said, there's a show for you to do. And she's only been in, I think, business for 3 years. And I was like, you need to do this show. You need to, get your face out there. And people were asking, she did it. She had a good time. But people were asking for me. And she's like, I'm filling in for Kitty. And I'm like, no, you're not. This is for you too. So I like to see other people grow in the industry. There's enough money for everybody.
Yeah.
So Kitty, I wanted to ask you a question about the business side of this for a second. Can we dive into the numbers? I know we didn't really prepare you to have your profit and loss ready, but I'm just curious on my mind, I'm a business guy, right? So when you tell me that the stones cost approximately $200, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at it. So there's some material you'd have to buy.
And then the connectors.
And then the connect, right. There's so all in, can you tell us how much it costs you to make one of these guys? Not time, just the materials.
The material. Okay. So if I'm not paying somebody to do it now, which that's what I'm getting to. So so it's probably cost me for the stones and materials, connector. So I'm looking about $300.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes you a couple hours, right? To put all the stones on it and make it look pretty.
So I'm gonna say I texted Kitty right before this and I was like, hey, we're getting ready, and she's like, okay, I'm sitting here stoning, and I had to read it twice. I'm like, wait, she's sitting there stoned. Oh wait, stoning. So anyway, there it is. I'm sure it's very labor intensive process, right? I mean, how long does it take you to put all of these beautiful stones on?
So over the years of me doing it, this is my life now. I was scared as heck to leave, my personal training. And I was also a manager of a gym in the Baptist building in Jacksonville. So I was doing pretty well there. But so over the years, now it takes me, I want to say, probably I can get cut and sew in a suit in a day. That's just me. That's just, and I can do 1.5. But if I'm paying somebody, usually the girl that started with me, it takes her a week to do it.
A week? Oh my gosh.
A week to do it. But I can do it in a day.
No wonder they're $1,200.
Yeah. That's labor intensive, man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how many bathing suits, or excuse me, how many bikinis, they're not bathing suits, how many bikinis have you made in the course of your business, do you think? 100, 1,000?
No, way more than that. Way more than, when I think about the boxes, my shipping boxes that I order, way more than that.
Hey, Amy, we have a great sponsor on board, Hormone Logics.
Yeah, they're actually my hormone doctors, so I think they're pretty awesome. They do hormone replacement therapies to revive energy and strength so that you can continue to feel younger longer. They do bioidentical hormones, menopause therapy, andropause therapy.
They help men with things like ED, low T, sleep regulation.
They help you to have a more satisfying sex life, improved mood, improved cognition, healthier skin, bones, and hair.
How does somebody get in touch with Hormone Logics?
You can visit their website at www.hormonelogics.com. Stop missing out on living your best life and be the best version of yourself.
Thousands.
Yeah.
I want to say thousands.
Because I remember visiting with you probably about a year ago, and you're a hustler. You got the whole process set up.
Your mom was there. Her mom was there.
Yeah, you got you had a rack of bikinis. You were you had a lot going on.
It's always like that. The lady, her name was Wesley Knowlton.
Oh, I thought it was mom.
She was a school teacher, but she we met during a pandemic. She lived next door to me, and her husband's walked over. He's like, oh, my wife has nothing to do, and I hear that you're making free mats, because I posted on Facebook. I said, I don't know who this is going to help, but I have all this fabric, and this is for all the police officers, the anybody, all the
wow.
frontliners. I had a production line with a few of the neighbors, and we were just putting masks in the mailbox, and people, all the nurses in Jacksonville, firefighters, police officers, they were just coming to the mailbox and picking them up.
That's amazing. And I'm
really
sure they were
cool.
pretty too. They were all your pretty colors.
Yeah, so the time during the pandemic when everybody was just resting and not figuring out what they were doing, I still didn't have a break. Like I worked the same as if I was still working Kittys Bikinis. It was crazy. I was like, why is everybody resting and I have so much to do?
That is such an amazing way to give back to your community, though. I love that story. That's great. You had all these business questions lined up.
I do. Well, I just didn't want to, take over the whole interview here, but yeah. So you made thousands of these bikinis. How do people find you? Do you have a really active Instagram? Is it just word of mouth? Do you have a newsletter? Do you pay for leads?
So I don't pay for leads. I have never paid for leads. My everything is through Instagram and word of mouth. And I really don't post on that much on Instagram. I probably should post more. But I always ask myself too, like, how do these people find me? I just shipped out to Jamaica last week, and then Japan. So it's like these people are finding me through Instagram. And what it is that I dress a lot of pros and also like people that are just normal athletes, just novice coming in. But they're reposting on their stories. So you got to think like Instagram is like international, and bodybuilding is huge internationally. Like it is just, insane for the amount of business that I got from just not even having an active, website. My website, like I paid somebody to do it and it never got finished. So my husband and I were trying to do it ourselves because we spent a lot of money to get it started. And it was just like, it wasn't working because the help that we had just kind of walked away from that project. So,
but I mean, it's such a testament that like, even if your website doesn't work properly, that you're still getting all this business. Cause in my mind, I mean, like I've worn, this is the third suit that I've had from you and the quality is like phenomenal. And I think that just kind of like speaks for itself, and you probably get, lots of followers and then repeat customers through the quality of your work, I would think.
Yeah. I have a lot of repeat customers. I want to say Kittys Bikinis has a huge family. I don't want to say following because like these people, I've had a personal, relationship with every single one of my athletes. And I have people that just, I dress like in the very beginning, I was like, hey, I don't know if this is going to work for you, but try my bikini. And if you like it, please tell me, critique me, because I can only get better.
So you can feel free to name drop. Who are some of like the bodybuilder famous people that you've dressed?
I dress Angela. I don't. Well, how do you say her last name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She was actually one of my first sponsors, and a good friend of hers and one of my best friends is Priscilla Cavila. She's another. They're both Brazilian. She's another Brazilian. She's a woman's physique athlete, and so they were good friends. And she was like, "Yeah, I'll tell her, and you can ship out a bikini, but." Shipping back and forth back then when Eshela was living in Brazil, it was very hard to get a bikini shipped over there to her because the customs they would make people, and I don't know how it worked over there, but like she was telling me that they were charging her double of like they were researching like what that type of bikini would cost.
Oh,
like they
wow.
would open it up. And at the time, like that was just not like
they would make her pay like tax or something on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, So she ended up going with somebody that was closer over there.
Mm-hmm.
But we still remain friends. Like, it was like, okay, just let me know if you need anything. And that's how it is. It's just, whenever I have sponsored athletes that come to me for a little bit, it's not more about like me. I think it's just a situation that,
right.
that would be easy for them. You know what I mean? And I never get heartbroken. I'm just like, let me know what I can do better, or if you ever need me, it's here. So it's like, I'm always open arms, like, that's okay, come back if you need me.
Yeah. So
sometimes
for our viewers, Kitty and I's history is that I actually, the first show that I ever did, she dressed me and I had this beautiful teal bikini. But it's funny because Matt and I were going to go down to Florida and I was like, well, I think it's almost done. So can I like come try it on? And Kitty you're just so welcoming. You have such like a welcoming, sweet personality. And you're like, yeah, come on in. And she was like busy working and we just like go into her house and she's like, here, try it on. Like, I think that's what is also making you successful is that you're so positive. Like you're just such a happy and positive person. So
I try to be.
Yeah.
Hey, Kitty, can you walk me through the process of making one of these things? Because I'm still trying to get my brain wrapped around how it would take somebody a week or a day. I mean, obviously you've been doing it a while, but I mean, there's like a lot of stones on here. So
there's a lot of work that goes into it. The speed that how I do it now is just not normal. I have the girl that actually worked with me yesterday. She is graduating. She is a fashion major in downtown Dallas, right? And she's like, I can't believe that you didn't go to fashion school. And she was showing me how to do a new seam and something I never knew. And she showed me less than 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, I got this. And she's like, you don't need to measure it. I was like, no, it feels right. And she's like, I've never seen anybody work like you who could just look at something and just feel like have that feeling like if it's right or wrong. And I'm a perfectionist. Like I don't know. I just work really well if I see things and if I can like hands on. I don't know what it is. So with athletes, a lot of times, like even with guys, right? I can make guys trunks in like less than 30 minutes. And I don't know how this happened, but like I can look at a person. So I'll have a guy like, he'll send me the wrong measurements. And I said, just send me a front back picture with clothes on. They always ask me, what do I wear?
You're like, not your underwear.
I remember walking into your little studio where you were making these and you're like, yeah, you're probably like a 34. I'm like, yeah, but.
Yeah, she can do that. That's
so
awesome.
I wanted to ask you about the men's line. So, like how similar is this to like a man's bikini? Because, or do you not do men's bikinis? I think you call them trunks.
No,
trunks.
Trunks.
What?
Bodybuilding trunks. So I would say I do too. I do men's bodybuilding trunks and men's classic physique. Now, I want to say it's not too like similar to the men's bodybuilding trunks. I wish I had a pair like to show you. I actually have something that's cut up but it's not finished.
We can look at our Instagram though. There's some trunks on there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some trunks on there because I do custom to order like those things. Like if I have a lot laying around and a guy comes in, he's like, "Did somebody else try this on?" I don't know why you guys.
You're like, don't worry about it, dude.
Yeah, so they're made to order, and it's like a 99% chance that there's just that 1% chance that it doesn't fit. I don't know how I do it, but I can just look at you and put the numbers together and just do it. And same thing with women. Like I've dressed a 300-pound woman before for information, and it fit perfect.
Wow. Because I mean, there's a lot to consider, right? Because, we're going to take a break in a second, but we'll get back to that coming
the
shortly.
300-pound woman.
Yeah. Well, I have some questions about the measurement thing. So we'll come back in just a second.
Okay.
This is Amy Wilhelmi. I'm the owner of Balance Wellness Collective. It's a holistic and integrative mental health practice located in St. Charles, Illinois, and telehealth all of Illinois, we see individuals, adults, families, children, and adolescents. We are primarily family focused and also do divorce mediation. It is a mind, body, and spirit approach to care. You can find us at www.balancewellnesscollective.com.
Have you ever been stuck in life? Have I got a book for you? Ascension Mentality, written by Amy Wilhelmi, public speaker, athlete, and licensed therapist. In her book, Amy takes us through a raw and vulnerable journey as she unravels from childhood trauma and navigates her career, marriage, and parenthood. She takes us on a deep dive into her life and how when emotions are left unprocessed, they seep into adulthood as she tries to navigate the task of growing up. You cannot change what you did. You cannot change what has happened to you, but you can change how you feel about it. You can let go of what is holding you back. When you process and unwind trauma, you don't lose what made you strong. You only lose what no longer serves you. To ultimately be a better human, friend, parent, partner, coworker, daughter or son, and leader. It's time to let go. Ascension Mentality.
This has been an Ascension Mentality podcast. Hit subscribe for all the latest episodes. For more information, visit ascensionmentality.com. Ascension Mentality, making mental gains.